Welcome back. This is Michael Langston with Warchant.com, senior recruiting analyst. Certainly, there's a lot of stuff going on again. Certainly, a very busy day. I'll start with the offensive line. Alex Atkins, FSU offensive line coach, visited Jeremy Byers from the UTEP transfer. I think he's going to officially visit this weekend. That's the intel I'm getting. A lot of people are like, "Well, Michael, you said he hadn't offered yet," but I think the key with that was, I think FSU certainly showed they were interested, but I don't think there was an initial offer at that point. I think once today, Alex got his eyes on him, saw everything, checked out everything. Certainly, once that checked out, I think then the offer was done, and now I think there will be a pursuit there for Jeremiah Byers. I expect him in for an official visit this weekend. I think Atkins is also going to visit Casey Roddick today out of Colorado. That's a visit he's going to make. So there's two guys that he's focused on. Not going to give you guys every offensive lineman because I got a mill coming up. There's one more guy that I think is a focus that I'll cover in that mill. So I'll let you guys do that. Now at tight end, Kyle Murlock is a guy that from Shorter University, Division two tight end. That's the guy they've been focused on. It's still their top guy in my opinion as far as what they want from the pool as far as a tight end. He got a visit, from the FSU staff today. I think they visited with their parents. Make sure you just go over everything. Make sure they know what the official visit's going to be like and all that stuff. So he will actually arrive Thursday. So I think they want to get there early just to kind of check out Tallahassee, see what it's like. I hear good things just come where FSU sits. I know Tennessee, Illinois is in there, but there's no other official visits set. Obviously, Tennessee went with a coaching change, so that's kind of made things a little bit tricky as far as that go. Obviously, their offense is very dynamic, just like FSU was this year. But I think there's still uncertainty as far as if he's going to take a official visit to Tennessee yet. I hear Tennessee, Illinois are the two teams I hear the most regarding Kyle, and then also FSU staff visited Jaheim Bell, excuse me, South Carolina tight end slash athlete. A guy that I basically look at as a big receiver, can do a lot of different things, explosive, one of the best playmakers on South Carolina. I was told just a little while ago that it is expected that Jaheim Bell will be officially visiting FSU as well this weekend. So that's another, significant, I guess, development. Then also today, the official visits is kind of coming into picture as far as kind of who could be there. I think there's going to be a few surprises that could be officially visiting this weekend. I think I was told like it could be up to 9 or 10 official visitors. Um, right now, the latest addition from the high school ranks that I feel is likely going to officially visit FSU is Ruben Bain, 4-star defensive end that I think it's basically down to FSU and Miami. I think it's been that way for a while. I lean more towards Miami at this stage, but I get the feeling that he's going to take an official visit based on the FSU intel that I've picked up throughout that. Edwin Joseph will also be there. He's a defensive back slash athlete out of Chaminade High School. He is supposed to officially visit FSU this weekend. Um, I think they have their state championship, and it's in Tallahassee, so that kind of makes sense as far as visit. But I think that's so he'll be a guy coming in there. The other visits, if you go to the PRB, I've covered them. I think it's around 5 or 6 right now. I mentioned this last night or yesterday, that Derek Hunter will not visit. I think I mean, this is just my gut feeling. It's not based on intel, guys, but I think it has to do with something with what FSU either has or going to get from either their team or from the transfer portal of why they decided that that visit was off. So that's off. It doesn't seem like he's in the picture at least at this point for FSU. So that's defensive end slash defensive lineman Derek Hunter. So I just kind of wanted to justify that. I checked again today to make sure if that visit was off, and it was. So once again, got double confirmation that he will not be there. So certainly had that going on. And then I went through the positions last night. I'll go quickly, through it. I don't expect a quarterback, running back. Certainly covered that. I don't expect him to take a portal receiver. I know there was an offer stated that a guy got offered last night. I don't think that's accurate from what I checked after checking with some FSU sources on that. I don't think they will go unless it's somebody just so elite at receiver. I just can't see them going after a guy from the portal. Now they might go after a high school receiver, Micah Mays and Jalen Brown have been the two guys that I've heard the most. Obviously, I think some have mentioned Andy Jean, who's committed to Florida. I have not heard much buzz with that compared to the other ones that they're pursuing. I think Jalen and certainly Micah are guys that they're likely going to go see this week for maybe in-home visits, just to see where they go from there. I think Jalen would be the priority as far as adding, but whether they add a fourth or not, I think it's a strong group. You certainly have the three: Goldie Lawrence, Bendravius Jacobs, and certainly five-star wide receiver Hakeem Williams. So I think you have certainly a great nucleus, and you're returning. It seems like most, if not all, your Porter receivers you had from last year. So I think they're pretty good there. Tight end, I already covered that. I do think they would take Bell and Morlock. People are going to ask me that. Like, I think both of those would be guys, and like I said, Bell is more looked at as like an athlete, where I think Morlock's more of a pure tight end, doing everything tight end wise. So I think getting different guys and doing different explosive things in this offense, tight end or even H back. I think that's what FSU's wanted to change with their, I guess, offensive room with that. As far as that goes, I've covered the offensive line. You'll see in the middle the other guy I'm mentioning, and then some other names that kind of hearing, and then on the defensive side, a lot really depends on what Jared Verse and Fabian Lovett do. Obviously, if any of those guys return, then it probably lessens the chance of seeing a lot of activity on the defensive tackle position. I think particularly. So Daryl Jackson's a guy that's I've heard he's entered a portal now, so looks like that stuff could be in motion as far as where FSU. I still feel that FSU looks pretty likely for Daryl Jackson to come back home. He's originally from Gaston County over there in Havana, so certainly it'd be a great addition. He's productive. He played a lot of games. He certainly, despite the season for Miami, he certainly made an impact in their defense. So he's a guy, and then we'll have to wait and see what Lovett and Verse do, and then I think FSU is going to, off those decisions, they'll decide what they'll push for. There's certainly some talented defensive ends that I think they have their eyes on. Even a couple, both from that haven't even entered the portal, that I've heard they might be waiting on just to see if they jump in. So those are things I'm kind of monitoring. Defensive back, I've covered it earlier today. There's they want safeties in this class. That's kind of a it's kind of a main thing for FSU. It's a big deal. They want to make sure they, solidify their safety position. I think the guy that I've heard the most buzz today is Fentel Cypress. He's a transfer from Virginia. I think FSU went to see him. I want to say either sometime early this week. I wasn't told the exact date, but I've heard that he's certainly mutually interested in FSU. There's certainly some solid interest already. I don't think there's a pecking order per se. Supposed to likely visit, either UCLA and might even go by USC. I think FSU will get a visit. That's kind of the impression I got from the people I talked to from the FSU side. So he seems to be one of the top corners that I think they would like to add in this class. Certainly, you want to just beef. You always want to beef up that secondary. As we see, guys get hurt a lot. You want to continue to have guys where you can rotate consistently, and we saw that last year with FSU. We're still waiting on decisions like from Akeem Dent and certain guys like that. Certainly, big news for FSU yesterday with Jaron Jones coming back, one of the starting corners. So getting the guys back as far as the pieces, but we're still waiting on a few dominoes to fall, whether it's from the team of what they expect or just the pursuit from FSU. But I do think outside of the kid from Virginia, safety is going to be the main position. I think FSU is still looking for that, I guess, that top target so far. But I think that's a position that you could see them heavily covet, to go along with the positions I've already covered. I think linebacker, they'd like to add one or two guys there. Nobody specifically yet from the portal that I can really just dive into and share with you guys, but I definitely think they want to add like one or two. But overall, there's like I said, a lot of excitement and should be a lot of surprises for official visit weekends. Maybe some guys that I don't have on my list that might show up and pop in there. But I just want to kind of give you guys an update on kind of where things stand going into the weekend. That's what we have right now. Stay tuned to Warchant. We're gonna have a lot more from the transfer portal and certainly high school recruiting, and we'll have it all covered. Certainly with the official visits, I'll be on site when these kids arrive for the official visit. So we'll cover all this and just stay tuned to Warchant. We'll have all your transfer coverage, transfer portal coverage. So more to come.